Hey ladies, so today I'll be doing a tutorial on the Kiara Sky dip powder. The first half of this video is me basically showing you how I remove the dip powder. I've had these nails on for like over 2 weeks now. As you can see, they've grown out a lot. So I'm just showing you how easy it is to remove the dip powder. I basically soak my cotton balls in 100% acetone, and then I wrap my fingers up with the foil with the cotton ball on top of the nail, pretty much the exact same way that you would take off like the gel no chip manicures. But this does take a little bit longer to come off because the powder is obviously a lot thicker than the no chip gel. So it does take a little bit longer, but it probably takes maybe 15 to 20 minutes for this to come off completely. And I do have a tendency to help it along a little bit by filing the very top coat off of the nail, so that way it gets rid of that shine and the acetone can start penetrating the dip powder a lot quicker. And then once I allow my nails to soak for maybe like 10 minutes with the cotton balls on it, then I'll go in again with the nail file and I'll begin just to file down more of that layer, because the thing about the dip powder is that as the acetone breaks it down, it starts to get kind of mushy, for the lack of a better word. And I like to get that mushy layer off so the acetone can start working on that next layer of dip powder. And that just keeps it from taking like super long for the whole process to finish as far as removing it goes. So you'll see here in the next clip how I just gently file some of those layers off as it begins soaking. This doesn't damage the nail because I'm not filing right on the nail. And you'll see that the dip powder basically just rolls off. It'll be on the table. You'll be able to see the little rolls of orange on the table. But I do this, and then I'm still going to buff my nails anyway, just to get a nice smooth surface for the next application. So a little bit of filing doesn't hurt as long as you're not, you know, like removing a bunch of layers of your nail like if you would with a drill. So now I'm just buffing and smoothing the nail out to prepare for my next application of dip powder. I really do love the dip powder. My nails are super strong and protected with this method, and allows my nails to grow long without me worrying about them like breaking and cracking, because my nails have a tendency to crack right at the base of the nail, right where the nail meets the nail bed. So this has really helped to prevent all of that. You'll see on my left hand here in a minute that I did crack, or I did break 2 nails. So the 2 in the middle on my left hand are shorter than all of the rest, and so one of them kind of has like a little tip on it still, because I put a tip on it to make it the same length as the rest of my nails. But other than that, you know, my nails are very healthy. My nails are dry, like my whole hand in general is dry right now. You want to avoid a lot of oils or anything like that during this process, because that will compromise how long your dip powder will stay on. So these are all, like, not all of the colors, but some of the colors that I have, just a few of them. I have a couple more, but I have a tendency to go like buy a new one every time I go to do my nails. So every 2 weeks I'm buying a new one, but it's cheaper than a manicure. So right now I am applying the Bond, which is basically like a dehydrator for the nails. Like I said, your nails need to be dry, free of oils and everything, so my hands will look super dry through this whole process. Just please pardon that. The next step is the base, and the base is what bonds the actual powder to your nail. So I mixed my own custom color because I didn't want to do one of the colors that I already had. So that's why I'm doing it out of this little cup. But usually I just dip my nail right into the jar of powder. So for your first layer, you only want to go down about 3/4 of the way. You don't want to go all the way to your cuticle. This will create just a little bit extra strength for the nail, especially there in the middle where the nail meets the nail bed, you know, where your free nail and your nail bed part ways, if that makes sense. Then the second layer, you're going to do a full layer, basically all the way from cuticle to tip. And I'll have a tendency to dust off or brush off any excess powder. I just don't want all of that getting picked back up by the brush and going into my base coat. So I will brush it off. And I do 3 layers. Depending on how hard you are on your hands, you don't have to do 3 layers. I personally like 3 layers. I think even the Kiara Sky website recommends 3 layers. But yeah, and then you're going to finish with a layer of the base coat. So you do base powder, base powder, base powder, and then you finish with the base, and that will basically help to seal in that last layer of dip powder. So this is what the nails are going to look like before you do any buffing. This is after my last base coat. And before you start buffing and smoothing the nail out, you're going to add the step number 3, which is the protect. So this is going to also help to quickly dry that base coat so that you can begin buffing. All of this product dries super quick. It does not take long. By the time I apply the protect to both hands, I'm ready to begin filing or buffing. Everything's set super quick. There is no dry time. There is no wait time, which I love, love, love. So now I'm just filing, shaping, evening everything out. So that way it's nice and pretty and ready and prepped for my top coat. And you can file and shape as much as you need. Sometimes I get a super smooth application, like when I dip it right into the jar, and sometimes it is a little bit lumpier. The formulations for the dip powder change depending on how much sparkle is in it. The powders that have more sparkle and glitter have a tendency to be a little more lumpy, for lack of a better phrase, but it's not really lumpy. It just has like more of a textured surface, whereas the solid colors, the powder is a lot finer, so you get a lot smoother application right off jump. After you're done shaping, you'll go ahead and do one more coat of the protect, and that will just make sure there's no dust left behind and that everything is nice and dehydrated for the top coat. And the last step in the whole process is your top coat. And you will apply 2 layers of the top coat. You want to apply these very thin. It does dry fast, but if you apply too thick of a top coat, it will have a tendency to get sticky and take longer to dry. But if you apply a very thin layer, it will be dry by the time you're ready to apply your second layer. And then that is it. I will then just go through and lotion up my hands and oil up my hands, and you'll see what that finished product looks like. And like I said, these will last me from anywhere from 2 to 3 weeks. It just depends on how much grow out I feel like dealing with. But it is perfect. I don't typically have any chips or breaks or anything of that nature. They stay intact. You saw my orange nails. The thumbnail had started to lift, and I just ended up not breaking it off, but chipping it off just to make the soak off easier. But yeah, they really, really last, and they keep your nails really, really strong. So yeah, this is the final product. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any questions, drop them in the comment boxes down below, and I will talk to you ladies in another video. Bye.